Recently we put so much effort into one film project with one guy whose heart is very closely connected to Norway, and he had visited this country for about 16 times during the last 10 years, and it is Petr Pavlíček. And every time we were together he was always talking so much about this beautiful country. But at that time it wasn't really possible because I was going to school and Norway is far from home and definitely requires to stay a long time to see the whole country. But now the situation changed completely. I finished off high school and all I can focus is climbing and traveling around the world.
3 weeks ago we returned from Norway, and we would like to introduce our new film project which we made there during the summer and during the autumn.
Norway? Has any climber even heard about Norway and climbing before?
I thought from the first time that Norway is an amazing country for climbing. Always I went into the nature and I saw so many amazing boulders, rock faces and walls with enormous potential, but I've never heard about hard climbing in Norway.
For me personally, Norway has always been a kind of mysterious country, and despite not knowing about the great climbing potential, I always wanted to at least take a look at this beautiful country. And once I heard talking Petr about supposedly massive potential, I was still unsure whether it is really true that there's such a great potential. But once I saw for the first time 2 years ago a photo of massive cave in the Flatanger region, instantly I knew that this is a place definitely not to be missed. So we could see this potential, and Petr was the best guide I could imagine, and at the same time he could make a perfect film out of it.
And what could I wish more than to have the best climber in the world, in the most wonderful country in the world, in front of my cameras.
So the plans were hatched and nothing could stop us from packing our cars and heading, instead of south, where I usually go climbing, north.
We started driving the journey, which has become a kind of routine for me during the last years. Now it was different because I was really curious how Adam will like everything on the journey to the north.
And I was curious myself.
I wanted to use 3 cameras and a lot of film equipment, so I needed help. My girlfriend Barbara, who was a great still photographer, had to become second camera operator.
The first stop was in Sweden, in Granitgrottan, and that is supposed to be the hardest sport trek in Sweden.
But it's the same thing with the children.
In Granitgrottan, Adam made the first ascent of an 8C plus route, which was the hardest route in Sweden to that time.
Come on. Nice, Adam.
Then we continued to Norway, and we visited the western fjords.
Where we visited a couple of very interesting climbing areas.
Now we are at the crag called Kvam in the western part of Norway, along the Sognefjord.
Everywhere we came, we met incredibly friendly people.
Yeah, long story. Long story.
From the first moment I knew that I didn't want to make just another typical climbing movie. What I really wanted was to combine the beauty of Norway with the spirit of free traveling. In the mountains of Jotunheimen, we experienced the first touch of the real Norwegian nature.
I also participated in a kind of bouldering competition and also visited one very interesting bouldering area.
A hodně nahlas. Hejbaru, když tak nemluvte teďka, jo?
Here we are in Leven, and later today it stopped raining, and after having climbed in the bouldering area called...
After making the hardest boulder of Norway, we moved.
After having made the second ascent of the hardest boulder problem in Norway, we moved to the area called Leven, and I'm just completely blown away by the structure of the rock. Some routes I managed to climb, some of them remained unrepeated. But then the time was running and we moved ourselves to the area of middle Norway.
My name is Gudmund Grønhaug, and I'm a physiotherapist and a researcher, and I've been climbing in this area for 12 years now. Hell is the closest crag to Trondheim. It's an outdoor climbing gym.
Oh, looks like a funny climbing.
Ekne is a sandstone crag, probably the only in Norway.
After first 10 days of the trip I was pleased. I climbed on some of the best rock I've ever seen, but at the same time I couldn't wait to see what I actually really came for, and that was the cave of Flatanger.
Compared to other places I've been in Norway and other countries, this is amazing. This is a really special place.
My expectations were high, but when I saw the cave for the first time, definitely I wasn't disappointed. Well, the feeling yesterday when we were driving up to Flatanger was like, oh, this could be a place where I will keep coming for the next 10-20 years, so this was a special moment. We spent the first couple of days just trying to climb already established route, and the first 3 days were actually quite successful.
Yeah, it was quite successful.
I'm going to try now some on-sites of 8C, 8C Plus to see if I'm strong or not. It's incredible ascent for me, because I know that on-sighting on granite is something pretty hard, and today everything just came together. Conditions, power, and huge portion of luck. The cave is just so magnificent, and the rock that you climb on is just awesome. I've never seen such a steep granite with so many holes on it.
Adam, co budeš dělat?
I'll try to on-site Nordic flower. Yeah. I'll try to on-site this route called Nordic flower. It's supposed to be 8C+. I'm having 30 quick draws on my harness, and it's about 60 meters long all the time in the roof.
Adam, Adam on-sighted all the hard routes in the cave, and then in a few tries completed the huge project, which was bolted by Magnus Midbø.
Co? Tady snažím, se mi směš.
Dobrý. OK. Dobrý, jsme rozpracen.
Bylo to super, fakt zážitek. Drsná cesta. Pěkný.
As I just climbed to the anchor, I saw an incredible line to the left. Here we have a perfect conditions for hard ascents, as we are lodged in a fully equipped house.
Yeah, so it's my first time here in Flatanger, and I was told that it was fantastic, but it has been even more fantastic. Yeah, it's often the case when you come to a smaller place that you think that the people are nicer.
One of the most amazing things about Flatanger, beside this incredible climbing and incredible nature, is the fact that you really feel that you are welcomed here as a climber.
It's part of that good feeling.
My name is Olav Ström. I'm one of the owner in this cave.
Berit and Olaf from the farm by the cave, they really make you feel like at home.
Her name is Oda.
And she's a wild one. She's a puppy still. She's a big one. Oh, she's like a crag dog.
Takových lidí je potřeba, zvláště v lezeckém světě.
The more I'm here, the more I know that I will return. I fell in love with this place.
Okay.
When the first time I just told the local people and the community that we like to develop this climbing area, they just said, and they don't have a clue what I was talking about.
Maybe some of the hardest routes in the world will be made here.
Once the work will be done, the climbing is gonna be awesome, I'm sure. I took a drill, a lot of quick draws, a lot of material, and drilled my way up a central line of the cave, which turned out to be very hard. Hopefully it's gonna be hard, hopefully it's not gonna be too hard. I really love this cave. Such a solid rock and such a steep terrain. I must say that this is climbing on granite at its best. Just a perfect paradise for hardcore climbing. I worked it about 2 weeks, got quite close to sending it, but definitely then a change was needed, because there was the whole rest of the Norway just waiting to be explored. What should I say? It's beautiful.
I took Adam into my beloved wilderness in the border with Sweden. We went by canoes into the heart of this wild area.
It was completely new experience for me. Just far off the civilization. You have to pick up all the stuff with you. Going on a canoes for about 3 days, being tired all about it. But at the same time being in a pure nature. And definitely just ignoring this fact that you're in a very special place that's just impossible, and at the same time it motivates you to push hard on those boulders. Here we are after a 3-day trip on a boat. We arrived to the dream boulder. Here in the wilderness, the life couldn't be any more contrastive to the previous life which I have experienced.
It was much more about the nature and to see whether there's a potential for the maybe future projects.
My view to climbing and my lifestyle has changed a lot.
Climbing connected with visiting and exploring new areas. This is something, this is the highest level of expedition or climbing or adventure movies for me. So this is the biggest challenge for the future.
Back on Flatanger, I made some improvements in the process of working the route. But I needed another break.
Pojď.
Even though it hasn't been raining for 3 days, it's desperately wet. So we headed out further north to the Lofoten. You don't have to hurry until the sun sets. You have just as much time as you can imagine to keep trying your project. That's definitely very interesting. This boulder is rough. This boulder is rough gem 8B.
Yes.
So I just made the hardest boulder problem of Lofoten. Rough gem, second descent after Nalehukataval.
On the way from Lofoten, we came to the area called Hamarøy.
It's a country of endless possibilities.
It's a real nature paradise. Neskutečná nádhera.
We visited Magic Valley.
Yeah, but the main goal was definitely Flatanger.
When we came back to Flatanger, I felt tired after 6 weeks of traveling.
As Adam struggled in the route, it was really interesting to follow his mental fight. What I really like on Adam is that he never loses his mind and hope, and he fights until the last moment, until the last chance is possible.
Jävlar, jag är 16 nu. Forward!
It is 9B+. I fought hard. There were many ups and downs, but I persisted.
Yeah, and this attitude has always paid off, and even this time.
I will not tell you too much. You will see so much more in the movie.